Imagine a Europe in turmoil, shaken by more than a decade of relentless warfare. At the heart of this upheaval is one man, Napoleon Bonaparte, whose meteoric rise from a Corsican artillery officer to the Emperor of the French is as stunning as it is consequential. His bold vision and military genius lead to the establishment of the French Empire, a powerhouse that redraws the map of Europe. But such power does not go unchallenged. A coalition of European powers, unsettled by the seismic shifts, rally against him, igniting a series of conflicts we now know as the Napoleonic Wars. Despite his tactical brilliance, Napoleon tastes defeat and is exiled to the Mediterranean island of Elba. Yet the fire in him remains undoused. In a dramatic turn of events, he returns to power in 1815, in a period known as the 100 Days. This sets the stage for the Battle of Waterloo, a showdown that would decisively end an era of war. On June 18, 1815, the armies gathered near the town of Waterloo in present-day Belgium. The day was ripe with anticipation as the French, British and Prussian armies assembled, each in their distinctive formations under the looming grey skies. Leading the French was the indomitable Napoleon Bonaparte, his eyes set on a decisive victory. His strategy? An initial offensive to fracture the Allied forces before they could consolidate their strength. Opposing him was the British Duke of Wellington, a man of tactical brilliance. He chose a defensive stance, setting up his troops behind a ridge on Mont Saint-Jean, a position that would provide a natural barrier against the French onslaught. His strategy was simple yet effective: hold the line, absorb Napoleon's attacks, and wait for the right moment to strike back. Simultaneously, the Prussian army, under the command of Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher, was on the move. They had endured a tough defeat at the Battle of Ligny just 2 days prior, yet they were far from defeated. Their goal was to rendezvous with Wellington's forces, and together, they planned to encircle Napoleon's army. As the day wore on, Napoleon launched his assault. The French artillery roared and the earth shook under the thunderous charge of the French cavalry. Yet, Wellington's line held firm. The British and their allies weathered wave after wave of French attacks, their resolve unbroken. But it was the arrival of the Prussian reinforcements that turned the tide of the battle. Late in the afternoon, Blücher's forces finally made their way onto the battlefield. Their arrival bolstered the morale of the Allied forces and added fresh troops to their ranks. They launched a combined assault on the French, pushing them back and sowing chaos in their lines. The battle raged on into the evening, a cacophony of cannon fire, clashing steel and desperate cries. As the sun set, the battlefield was a scene of utter devastation, marking the end of Napoleon's rule. As the day ended, the battlefield was a scene of utter devastation, marking the end of Napoleon's rule. The Battle of Waterloo was more than just a military defeat for Napoleon. It marked the end of an era, the conclusion of Napoleon's rule and the French Revolutionary Wars. Following this battle, Napoleon was exiled for the second time, but this time, it was to the remote island of St. Helena, located in the South Atlantic Ocean. Here, he would live out the remainder of his life, far from the power and glory he once commanded. The battle wasn't just a personal defeat for Napoleon, it was a catastrophe on a human scale. Tens of thousands of soldiers were killed or wounded on both sides. These stark figures serve as a chilling reminder of the sheer brutality and human cost of war. But the battle's significance reaches far beyond the battlefield and the number of lives lost. It had profound political implications. The defeat of Napoleon led to the re-establishment of the French monarchy, with Louis XVIII reclaiming the throne. This marked the end of a tumultuous period of French history and the beginning of a new chapter. The Battle of Waterloo also played a crucial role in reshaping the European political landscape. The Congress of Vienna, a conference between various European powers, was tasked with the enormous responsibility of rebuilding Europe after years of war. The Battle of Waterloo confirmed the need for a balance of power in Europe, a concept that guided the decisions made at the Congress. The aim was to ensure that no single power could ever dominate the continent, as Napoleon had done. The decisions made at this Congress would influence the boundaries, politics, and power dynamics of Europe for years to come. In many ways, the Europe we know today is a product of the decisions made in the aftermath of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo, a single day's conflict, had repercussions that echoed through centuries, making it a pivotal moment in world history.